Well, it's 7 o'clock. I'm going to call the meeting to order. And we have previous minutes. Does anyone have any questions about the previous minutes?
We approve the previous minutes as written.
Move to approve. Second.
I'll second.
Right. Motion approved. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And I say aye. Approved. Treasurer's report.
Beautiful.
Treasurer's report is on paper.
So there are two vouchers. One is from Stantec of Eastern Estates Peer Review. The other one is for legal ads and yeah, so it's just an agenda and budget stuff.
The budget's and agenda item stuff, yeah.
Okay, so we can do that, but I'll have Tom sign these when he comes back.
Oh, and we printed out budget stuff, Kathy, so I don't think it made it to the mirror, because we just printed it before the meeting tonight, but we'll send you copies of the meeting, of the budget stuff. We just printed out basically what we already had, but we'll get
Okay.
that to you.
Okay. I have to go pay my taxes, so if you just want to leave it in the front office. I'll be there either tomorrow or the next day.
Planners report.
It was distributed yesterday. The only additions I have to that is that today I submitted for an expression of interest for a grant program known as the Eco One Stop. And I submitted for the planning assistance grant for, I think it was $60,000 to do design guidelines to be adopted by the planning board at some point. But to working with CMRPC to develop design guidelines for UCBD district, general business district, MBTA communities district, as well as I think we said any commercial construction over 2,000 square feet in line with your site plan review requirements, as well as multifamily, which again ties into your site plan review requirements as well. So it'll likely be based off of, if we can get the funding, the design guidelines. I don't know if that was the title of the documents, but the design guidelines that CMRPC developed as more of a reference guide for the town back in like 2019. There was a reference guide, and it's on the economic development landing page if you want to take a look at it. Again, it's only served as a reference at this point because it was never formally adopted by any committee or board to be implemented into your regulations, either your site plan review regulations or any other type of regulations that you can, that you hold a public hearing for and then you formally adopt. And then when somebody comes in with a site plan, you can say, hey, we have these design criteria that you need to meet now with your new development. So looking to get something more structured in that sense, give it more teeth. And then the other one was a culvert program to working on some culvert improvements along and Bill,
Fowler Street.
yeah, was it the Fowler Street? Was that the one? I basically just copy pasted from what Ty and Bond gave me and submitted it because Ty and Bond prepared the expression of interest. But yeah, some culvert work that needed to be done on, what was it again?
Fowler Street.
Fowler Street,
What about the other center of town?
West Upton.
Yeah, is there any progress or money needed or what's going on with doing to the other end of town what we've done with this side?
So the next workshop is
7th.
next week, the 5th, November 5th. It was originally scheduled for tomorrow night, but that got moved because there's the DPW building public meeting that's happening tonight, I think at the.
Are we approaching it that it's another town or is it the same town and they're gonna have the same parking and the same type of uses?
Well, the approach is to define it as its own thing currently, right? So to take a look at it and ponder what makes West Upton unique and try to incorporate that into any future plans. But realistically, the recommendations that come out of this process will likely mimic what you saw happen with this district, the UCBD district.
When, way back when it was its own zip code. West Upton were different zip codes. Wonder why.
Did you have two post office?
That took over.
Yeah, they each had their own post office. The West Upton one is where it was now, and the Upton one was where there's a dog grooming place and there's a hairdresser right across from Country Super. That was the Upton.
That
post
same
office.
building?
So the reason for making it two different zip codes may be the same reason we'd make it two different zoning.
Yeah.
Just a thought on the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah, any questions or thoughts about, explained before, or?
I would expect the zoning to be kind of, I mean, if Carlton had 3 zip codes, there's not 3 towns there. It's one town.
Well, if by doing what we did with the Center District
Yeah.
called parking issues, you
Yeah.
should probably apply that
Oh, yeah,
there.
absolutely.
If the apartment over a business is legal here, apartment
should
over a
be,
business should be
yes.
there.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, that's what I.
Definitely needs to be looked at, especially where we have that strip of CNI that doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yes, yeah. Like I think all those CNI can go to micro general business, so each person can have their own little, whatever they want on their own property instead of having it a commercial, which is to me, it's a bunch of stores together. Commercial property, you take a whole bunch of small businesses and you put them all together.
Yeah.
We put them together along the road that it's only 500 foot deep. You can't really put anything in, you can't put any kind of a large factory in or anything with a 500 foot depth.
You wouldn't want that on.
All you have is the mill and the railroad,
500 strip,
what it is.
500-foot strip creates complications, as you were just describing. But to be specific about it, I mean, because of the use is not going to be contained within 500 feet, especially if you have to have your parking spanned back into the residential district, which it would. And then it becomes a matter of, well, is the parking the use? The parking is not necessarily the use, but it's certainly, if the parking is required to sustain the use, those sorts of questions.
People are starting to park on that street a lot more.
Oh, yeah.
And the wheels are past that line.
That's been a lot of or some of the conversation we've had is, people, especially in front of, Millhouse, right? So it's kind of like from Millhouse back to basically where the Garden Girls are, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of
Right down
parking,
there.
yeah.
And there's wetlands there, the guy was just behind him, is very wet, with the town wells are pretty much like, on the same
Yeah.
level, it's on the same plane. Anything else? We move on to 81 piece. We have frontage lot, I believe.
Mhm.
Kelly property. 16 acres, large.
Yeah, Jim Sullivan from G&H.
You wanna, about this one, it's gonna be,
Please talk through it.
All right, good evening. So you have a frontage lot in front of you, an 81P plan for East Street. The lot itself, as depicted, is 96,953 square feet. We have a straight line frontage of 240 feet, which both of those obviously comply with the zone. Adding up the chords, it's 240.24
Okay,
feet.
show me where you have that measurement on here.
So the straight line frontage is a dotted line from the iron rod running along.
Yeah, is it, I'm not a mathematician, I don't know wrong. Something, we'll need a straight line measurement with a number on it.
Sure there is. Across the street, it's a straight line frontage is equal to 240 feet.
So that's exactly 240?
Yes.
Oh, so that's not our zone, that's exactly what this is. It's almost like you planned it that way. But go on, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so the actual frontage is just slightly larger than that, but it's 240 and change. The proposed driveway is also shown. There is a profile on the left side of the page. It's hard to see on the plan that's printed because it was a Mylar, but you can see it's a relatively flat. As far as the elevation changes of the driveway goes, so.
Going out towards the street. We're going down, right there on, going across the lot.
Yeah, it kind of goes this way. Yeah, obviously, it does. The lot tends to go down towards the wetlands, towards the high tension lines of the power company. So I just highlighted it on this plan for your reference. And the Kelly Family Realty Trust is the client.
That's it, just this one lot here?
That's correct. The one lot there is the A&R for tonight's.
Okay, that's just a Bay Street. You got your locus. You got your data table. Got your signatures, your tax map. Image which proposed driveway in the profile. Andre? Questions from anybody?
So the locus is for the two lots together, it looks like. Locus actually includes both lots, but
It appears that way.
But we signed that one off a while ago.
we signed that, oh, I
That
know,
was
there's a house there. There's a house there. already.
You signed off on that one last year?
2023.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
It's 23, yeah. No.
1028,
Yes.
We'll mention that the house is currently, or that land is currently in chapter. So there's a process that needs to take it, we need to go through, the owner needs to go through to take it out of chapter.
And who's there when you said a process?
The owner has to notify the town that it's intending to change the use.
if there was one section that they didn't have to do this, I don't know if this is one of the ones, I don't know if it's on the right side of the street or left, but they.
No, I confirmed this afternoon.
You did as part of the parcel that every time. you
Yeah,
cut
we
one.
went through this, we went through the same process with the
With the-
previous. Yeah.
But that one was bought by one of the kids, right? I think the kids bought that.
The one we cut out,
Yeah,
it was built by others and sold. I don't know about it.
so it was something else, but they're doing some kids.
I think
So it's a chapter
61.
61A, right?
I think the assessor may have had a conversation with them. Mr. Keller.
Yeah, I know Mr. Kelly's in a few times.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
No, we would all get, to the chair, we would all get notified that as town staff and boards if there was an intent to sell it.
Process,
Yeah.
yeah. You can notify all the relevant parties.
I just mentioned that because it doesn't complicate this process necessarily.
No, no.
It's good that they are.
One's signed, one unsigned,
Oh, it was two sides.
two signed, one unsigned. What is?
We sign, you want it, doesn't.
I think. You actually have two paper copies.
Yes, we'll need another paper copy for the 24 file.
The emotions.
No, I don't need motion, just sign it.
I mean, I guess that's something we've done forever, but are we even, I mean, are these just being scanned into electronic?
Yeah.
We've been keeping two signed, one unsigned.
I mean,
Is that really
it's
necessary
only,
anymore?
what's the only thing I view as necessary is just having a paper copy for our files. I usually follow up with the applicants. Yep, usually. Or just email me a copy of it.
Okay.
So I mean, as you can see, I already have it.
So we probably don't need a third paper copy.
We keep a copy for our records and they would have a copy for their records, plus that gets.
Well, the first copy is going to come for, or no, the board of assessors.
Yeah.
So we do have a town copy. No reason
Whatever.
not to.
What I'm saying is do we really need three copies anymore?
The assessor also gets notified when these are
Recorded.
recorded at the deeds office.
It might be in our file, we have to give the assessor.
sure.
But it might not be that we have to keep.
No, yeah, it is likely that that is in your rules.
Yeah, I'm sure it's in our rules, but I guess I'm just questioning. The rules were written some time ago, and there have been some changes with electronic record keeping.
Couple standards.
Yeah, Yeah, pretty soon we'll be able to beam them over. Sure. I might do better than I do.
Did you do it since you're.
You're all set, that's all.
Those are nice.
Keep our record here. Any other, project ones?
No, that's it.
Okay, next is the, zoning bylaw amendment. So we'll have to suspend our regularly scheduled hearing, public hearing for Master Law Section 5, 302-1-5, which means at any time there's a zoning change to the town meeting floor, the planning board, after the public hearing, and give our recommendation to the moderator. And our voters. This is a vote to give to the moderator.
Mr. Chairman, so you open the public hearing, would you like me to give the public an overview of the amendment?
Absolutely. Please do.
So this originated because just across the street, you have a local brewery, and they are interested in expanding their brewing operations in town. And when they reached out to me about that, I noticed that it's pretty much not possible for them or anyone else with the same intention to come to town and do so. In order to have a brewery in town, you are basically required to have another use attached to it. Such that, if they have a tap room, you could refer to it as a brew pub if you wanted, sort of thing. But the way that your bylaws are written, you'd basically be required to have some sort of tap room or a pub associated with it, basically a 50-50 split of sorts. But no, there's no ability to locate just brewing operations in town, the manufacturing component of it. Given that you have a general business district and a commercial industrial district that light manufacturing, I would argue, includes brewing to an extent, but it does not call it out specifically. And so in zoning, and in particular Upton zoning bylaws, you have a clause in there that says anything not stated explicitly is otherwise prohibited. So recognizing that, I brought this to the Economic Development Committee to get an opinion as to whether or not they would like to make recommendations to the planning board. They did. They said, please bring this to the planning board to see if they would like to initiate a change. So we, land use staff, Lauren and myself, looked into neighboring towns, their definitions, how breweries are defined. We ultimately landed on a definition for microbrewery, not necessarily brewery, and the difference between the two being size and capacity. Microbrewery, as you can see by this definition, is restricted by 204 CMR 3.02, which is the alcohol bureaus. I forget their full title. With the ABCC, those are their controlling definitions for breweries and microbreweries.
They're the ones limited to 15,000.
Yes, yeah. So in this definition, what this change seeks to do is to create the use of microbrewery to exist within your table of principal uses. So, and in that, a new definition for microbrewery has been produced, again, based off of other towns' definitions and referencing what the ABCC has on the books. So this limits it to 15 barrels per year, which is as a barrel being equivalent to 31 gallons per year, which may or may include a tap room where beverages produced on the premises may be sold or consumed. So it says may or may not include a tap room, so you're providing the option for if a brewery wanted to locate their manufacturing operations to also include a tasting, essentially, right? Which is a common occurrence.
Is that would the permit for the brewery include the tap room, or would a tap room be a separate sign off?
I think the tap room is included in this. I don't think it would be a separate sign.
Well, that means that the application for the brewery has to include parking and has to include the tap room. So that if they built the brewery first, which is just manufacturing, they wouldn't be able to add it on without parking, without safety, without all of the things that go with retail contact.
For sure, if any new use will have to provide parking, right? Your off-street parking requirements require it.
But if they have a small building and all they're doing is having 4 or 5 employees, and they say, you, that's all the parking I need is 4 to 5 employees, then they open up a tap room. They don't have to go through anybody else to get that extra parking if that's included in the initial umbrella.
Well, that's included in the definition of microbrewery, but it wouldn't necessarily be included in the approval that we gave for a particular microbrewery.
Great question. How would the Board of Appeals handle those 2 different uses of the same property? One retail contact, one is simply light manufacturing.
In my opinion, the 2 components would likely generate different parking needs. And those combined would give you the total required. In that case, where you have, even if you had a brewery that the owner is telling you, I only have a handful of employees, I only need to provide 5 spaces, but I also have a tap room. Tap room is going to generate and kick them over the threshold to getting site plan review through this board.
How would you know? They wouldn't have, for this, they would already be approved for that. What would be the trigger for them to even?
Building permit review would capture a new use being proposed.
The property.
The building commissioner would throw it to you as the board.
Can I ask, what if they want to then serve food like Starline?
Goes with
That's a whole.
beverage usually, doesn't it? And what if they
I don't
want?
think they serve food now.
Yes, they do.
What if
They
Yeah.
do.
Well, the food trucks,
Like food trucks.
And
if they had a restaurant, then they would have to go through Board of Health. There'd be a lot of other, there'd be other ways that we would catch them or, we bring them into the,
Through the chair, the last sentence in the definition is may include other uses such as a restaurant if otherwise permitted in the zoning districts.
It's the process of what process, who would they file what with to do that? After they've got a microbrewery.
Mhm.
They're building it, now they want to put in a pickleball court or whatever they put in,
they'd go to the building inspector and he'd say, go to the planning board.
because you need parking, you're triggering.
Yeah, just as happens with other things now. I mean, we always get some things sent to us. from
As long as that's, I guess as long as that's clear that last, we said otherwise permitted, that permitting process is through zoning.
Yes.
That if you trigger a site plan, the next use, that second will be a second use.
Yeah.
If it triggers any zoning, all right, makes sense. Questions or comments from anybody?
Barry Lynn from 66 Rockwood. I just wanted to let you know that I support this, and I think it's good for the town.
Actually, discussed putting this in the agricultural residential zone as well. To possibly, a small business in there and grow your own, make your own apple cider up there and maybe it's the second part of this.
Yeah, through the chair for clarification, what is proposed now, as far as being allowed in the town, it would require zoning board of appeals special permit approval in the general business district, commercial industrial district, and the UCBD district. This board had previously mulled around, basically what you just said is, you know, you want to encourage agriculture in your agricultural zone. If somebody wants to have an orchard and produce a cidery, or even there are wineries that exist in New England and vineyards. They typically don't source 100% of their ingredients from New England, but they are producing some of it. You know, well, why would you want to get in the way of somebody trying to do that? So that was the intention behind that. The select board, this was the initial draft that got to the select board for the warrant. So by the time that requested change got to the select board, they were uneasy about making that change
That's fine.
now.
That's fine.
So as of right now, it's just in your business districts.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions, comments?
I think it's good for the town also.
So I move that the.
Let's close the,
Oh, wait.
let's
Close
close
the
the,
hearing still.
close the public hearing and reopen the regularly scheduled meeting. Okay.
I move that the planning board endorse the proposed zone change.
Second.
Discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor of recommending acceptance to the town, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Kathy,
Aye.
that is unanimous. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next on the list is 15 West Main Street. But we have an issue with that. The notices were not sent out.
Notices were unfortunately not sent out. So I recommend to the board that you it was advertised. And it did get to all the abutting towns, sent out to the state, you know, all those appropriate notices were made, but unfortunately, the abutter notices were not sent out. So I suggest,
So rather than, I still think I should open the public hearing and continue it.
okay,
No action will be taken.
for sure.
But the next, when we continue to, that we at least still have a, it'll be continued public hearing at that point.
Yeah, and through the chair, your peer review was not ready for comments tonight anyway. So,
Is there anybody from this project?
Yeah, Travis Brown, Turning Point Engineering. So once we receive the notices from Mike, as he stated, we'll send those out in time for the next meeting. Hopefully we'll have peer review. Anything that comes of that will be addressed, based on the regulations, it's fairly minor.
Are there any questions on even why we have what common driveway? Do you, I don't know if there are other towns that don't do it this way, is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah, one of the things we did a long time ago was we considered, your driveway is, if you have two houses with frontage and you accessing it through the same one, two houses is a subdivision. Qualifies as, so we didn't look at this common driveway as a driveway. Your driveways are off of this, right? This is the way that the driveways hook up to. So we wrote that bylaw, we reduced, there's no drainage, it's a smaller road width. It is the same construction because we do need it, but there's a lot of, that's basically where we came from on that.
Yeah, so we came to you a while back informally just to discuss keeping the existing house, which we're still doing. We ended up going to ZBA to get variances for the driveway grade and a hammerhead turnaround in lieu of a cul-de-sac. In addition to that, I think the last one was access through the frontage.
Yes.
Well, the planning board actually approved your access regardless of anything else you've done. Our job is to access utilities and zoning. So if they have waived zoning, that's one thing, but they can't waive access. If we say you need a cul-de-sac, they can't tell us it's a hammerhead. It's not their call.
I was under the impression it was.
We would allow a hammerhead. I mean, I'm telling you, it's probably the right thing to do. But the zoning board does not tell an elected planning board how to design a roadway. That's our job. They're appointed, we're elected as.
Understand.
If you disagree with them, it goes up the administrative chain.
Yeah, my impression, I guess, Mike, you can correct me, but if it's a zoning issue and we're getting relief from that, then it's zoning board that needs to.
Except for anything that tells you got to go through planning board control. If anything in the zoning says you're coming to this board, and it does, it says you have to go through subdivision control with these other exceptions. You're under our rules, which is an elected board. You got to do what we say, and we'll try to be good to you.
So
Yeah.
we're continuing, this is being
All
continued.
right, so
not
with
discussed
that,
now.
that being said, I'm going to, open the regularly, postpone the regularly scheduled meeting, open up the, planning board public hearing for 15 West Main Street. Going to, continue that till,
November 11th.
I thought, no, we can't meet on the 11th,
that's
it's a holiday.
Veterans Day,
Oh, that is Veterans Day?
That is actually Veterans
and the
Day.
25th.
It would be the 25th.
With everybody else.
All right, so we're gonna, continue this to 7:15 on the 25th of
Oh, we
November.
already have things on there though.
For the, what do we have on for,
130 South Street.
right, oh, right.
Page.
Give me time.
130 South Street is 7:05.
Is that the-
That's it.
I thought there was something else that we're maybe not.
There's another one who is yet to file, which I had to double check with Lauren as well. I was like, because I thought we were forgetting about them,
Okay.
but they just haven't filed yet.
Okay,
We good with 7:15?
I'm good with it.
All right, thank-
And I just, one thing procedurally, so after the common drive special permit, we'd like to submit an A and R. Can we submit the A and R now in anticipation of addressing peer review, addressing this board? If everything goes well, we satisfy you, vote to issue the special permit and sign the A and R?
My recommendation is if you give it to us, we'll be able to look at anything else that may be missing and you'll be able, if we at least give us a chance. So you don't have to redo it. So you come in and then we will give you all the changes at once.
Sure.
If anything's missing that we require that makes sense?
Essentially, I mean, it's this plan minus like some topo and things that you wouldn't put on a recordable plan, but shows all the lot dimensions, frontage, setback
Yeah,
information.
the way I look at it is those all have frontage. Those all the setbacks and all those things are under zoning, which are this board. They're part of the building permit process. The only thing we're required to do is make sure you have adequate access, which is the construction of your common drive.
Sure.
So if you could put that down there with everything else you've got right there, I would give it to us, and then when the meeting happens, we can sign it pretty quick.
So through the chair, if I could ask a clarifying question. And this is again, a procedural question, not a question about the merits of the special permit that you've continued to the 25th. So this being the plan, the question is, would this board be amenable to endorsing the A&R plan, given that the common driveway is still pending an approval?
The endorsement means they have adequate access and utilities. They do not have it yet. It's not adequate until there's an approval.
Right, so then, a follow-up would be, when this board makes a vote on the special permit, should you decide to approve it, at that same time, after making a motion to approve the special
We'd sign the
permit,
A&R.
you'd be amenable to signing the A&R that night?
Yeah, and especially if we have the engineered report back, we shouldn't do anything until we get the peer review.
Yeah, 100% agree.
Pay money for.
My only concern, the reason I wanted that addressed with the board
Yes.
was, I mean, not only so everybody's on the same page, we get, the same expectations. But, on the applicant's behalf, should they receive an approval, anything they do beyond that is at their own risk, given appeal periods and things like that. So I just wanted to make sure that you were all,
Yep.
that it sounds totally fine with me.
Thank you very much.
Very good, thank you.
Regularly scheduled meeting. In order. And 7:30 is East Street Estates, public hearing. You have to, we're all set for that one?
7:34.
All right, we will, on a regularly scheduled meeting, put aside and reopen the continued for East Street Estates. For East Street. Be there.
How you doing? Jim Sullivan, Gary and Hellon, for East Street Estates. John Federico is also on phone from Gary and Hellon. Just want to give the board an update. We submitted to Mike design plans from Summit Engineering for the proposed retaining walls, proposed culvert that is on our plans. So those, detailed plans have been filed and, presumably Mike has, passed them on to the peer reviewer. For their review and, information and feedback. So, you have those plans. And the culvert, has been designed as well along the wall, and that fits in with our proposal for the road layout and the culvert crossing.
Jim, what would you like on the screen for?
That's fine right there. Thank you. Just, that's one of the plans provided by Summit Engineering. It shows the segment of the road that is, got the wall and the crossing itself. And again, it's shown, it's a block type wall, Lamar Concrete Products, and London Boulder is the type of block that's being utilized.
Now, if I look at that retaining wall and I look at all of the things, it was on I got a list, it was like 1.5 and 2.5. There was different measurements of its strength and different, what was that? Yeah. You got a thing on wall strength.
Oh.
It was on structural, trying to think of the words they used, it's all beyond my knowledge.
Is it this?
That's the one right there. So if I look at all of those, go to the bottom. The factors of safety, sliding, bearing, and overturning. And if I looked in, if I was to type in AI and look what the standards are, those would be the minimum standards.
We did not design it. It was designed by the other firm. Yes. That's what I would believe.
And so we are, these have gone out for peer review, these.
No, this has not gone out.
Okay, this just came in.
Yeah,
Okay.
correct.
Yes.
Because this is probably one of my biggest factors is that, because it's not so much that this is that you're asking for a waiver. You're saying you can't meet side slope requirements because you have to put in a wall. My point is, well, just change your street layout. Why would you do it here if you can't meet the zoning? But it is 12 feet off the fence, right? It's 12 feet off the side of the road. The retaining wall, it's not right on the road, isn't it? Like
Yes, correct.
12 feet off the road. So that the plows could easily get to the snow.
Yeah, there's a sidewalk there and it's outside, portion of this outside the right way. Yes.
With that and conservation had issues. What's your conservation issues? You have issues with conservation on that as far as the roadway?
There was conservation concerns, I think, with the previous filing. We have not been back to conservation yet. We intended to do that. We just wanted to get this filed for you folks. We would be going back to conservation for a amended order.
They're not gonna make you change the road layout, right? The roadway?
Well, that's always one of those things. We file with one board, file with both boards simultaneously, end up,
So that's one of the reasons I ask you to go to these other boards first, or at least get as much information, because if conservation tells you this road layout has to change, that's a major change and we gotta do it all over again.
understood.
And this through the chair, and forgive me, because I don't know, had this gone to Concom previously? But had it never made it there?
We did a while ago.
I thought there was an order of conditions
Yes, it is a kind of,
that was approved, Army Corps of Engineer. Lack of a better term. Yes,
I mean, not necessarily this iteration of the mission that's reviewed it, but
And also not this iteration of plan has been reviewed,
correct. Yeah.
but they have a Concom seen. So
so if it pleases the board, what we would do then in relatively short order is probably file a request for an amended order of conditions and get in front of the board.
They still have all the members, or they were down a few members, one thing.
I don't know, Bill's on.
You guys got a full board?
I'm not remembering any Concom. I mean, These plans were forwarded to Conservation Commission to provide planning
Planning
board
board,
comments.
Yeah,
I'm just trying,
seeing if they.
flipping through my files to see if they submit comments.
To avoid what happened like with the Governor's Landing. They came in with an original plan. We approved it and then conservation made them, change the road layout, which came back to us and that's what we had. Now 15 years later, we're doing this.
There's a comment from June Fish.
June 5th.
I can share my screen.
Sure, yeah.
Through the chair, I just have a quick question. I might have missed this when you said it. Has DPW approved this?
They've not approved anything.
No, and we've reached several times to DPW. We don't have any current feedback on the,
Well, I mean,
the
they
old.
probably haven't seen the new.
I'm sure.
That's,
No, my plans from several months back
Okay.
were,
Oh, there we go. Sure.
were shared and either comments through you all about how's the snow getting taken care of. And I know we have reached out and didn't believe I had gotten comments back.
Okay. Because I think that was one of the, because you said these were the same plans that were submitted before under the previous.
Relatively
iteration.
speaking, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so the only thing that Concom said is, yes, we issued a permit, but it will expire in 2027. And the plans have changed, so you have to come back. So you need that.
We do.
All right, yeah, that's the only comment I have in my records.
this new filing, then would be a new Board of Health for this and no conservation for that, and DPW for this. Be the new everybody, if the plans have changed. What else we got? Is that for the, I noticed there was,
We also sent in an updated peer review response letter from my firm that Michael received today.
You have your packet.
Yeah.
And there'll be updated plans and an updated stormwater report from these peer review questions that you'll receive through Mike over the next few days to go back to peer review for comment. I'm fairly confident that most of the questions on this peer review letter will be or are going to be addressed.
tell me about the roadway is gonna be 30 feet. It's not gonna be directly across, it's not gonna be an intersection. The roadway is gonna be 30 feet down, is that correct?
I believe we adjusted the road so it was directly across from Rockwood, is that right?
The road has been changed to align with Rockwood Lane.
I believe so. John, do you recall that? Are you on the line, one of the other engineers?
Yeah, it's.
Yes, the roadway has currently been aligned to Rockwood.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
And just to provide a little additional information regarding the retaining wall, layout for that retaining wall and the roadway, at least through the wetland crossing, has not changed from my recollection compared to what was previously submitted to conservation. We did have a few lot design changes, and the overall elevation of the roadway was lowered, so it's not as impactful in terms of the height of the wall and any sort of fill that could be going over that wetland area.
To be fair to everyone, this is the first time we've got any structural engineering report on that wall. The last time we didn't get anything on its safety or its life expectancy or anything like that. So I appreciate getting it in now.
Very good. And again, we sent in a peer review letter. There are a number of items on there that are defined as defer to the board, which we could talk about when you feel it's appropriate.
Open space, you want-
Yeah, through the chair, can I ask a question on one of them? Because I was a little bit confused.
Go ahead.
I'm asking permission, Tom. I was being like gracious here.
Oh, absolutely. Please go right ahead.
Sure. Yeah, I was just confused about, I think it was comment 14, due to the area of wetlands, we question if proposed parcel B and C labels as open space complies with section 4 open space of the design standards. And you say you want to, the plan is to request a waiver. And this is an open space subdivision, correct?
It is not.
No, standard,
Okay, it
it's a
is
standard
not,
sub.
okay. It's a standard subdivision, okay.
There are There are large segments of land that is being designated as open space.
Are you talking about the 10% requirement for subdivisions, open space? Is that what you're talking about? Kathy?
Yeah.
Have we gone through the waiver requests yet? Because a lot of these are waiver requests.
Yeah, there are a lot of waiver requests. That was a question I had. There's a lot of waiver requests in here.
If I could just speak to the open space, I think one of the comments about the open space is a lot of it is wet and not being used as part of the development. So it's called open space on the plan to be discussed and worked out, I believe, with conservation if a land trust or somebody wants to take it over.
We're planning board, that's suitable for park or playground. Our provision for open space is setting aside in a subdivision, common open space for the residents of the subdivision. It's not used for the town, it's designed, but for the subdivision residents. It's 10% of the land, common open space for the subdivision.
And it has
Okay,
to be usable, correct? It has to be
That's
usable.
our bylaw.
Yeah.
We're asking for a waiver from that you're not going to provide 10% for suitable for park or playground, then that would be your waiver. Because just because you're setting aside 10% of wetlands doesn't super qualify for the planning board's requirement of 10% open space.
Now, you've said, okay, so parcels B and C are labeled as open space. Are those in addition to the 10% of usable land that's set aside for open space?
I don't believe that is, no.
Okay, so that then isn't. That's a big request.
Mr. Chairman?
There's good and bad,
I'm
plus
sorry.
and minus space in the subdivision, and one is gonna have to be held by the owner. They're gonna have to do the lots, they're gonna have to pay insurance on this common open. Generally, we've said if you can provide access, you don't need 10% if you can have, let's say, the side of it access to a state forest. We have a lot of ones that have
Right.
access to a pond access so that you don't need 10%. You'll use that to go to a recreational area. I don't know if you have that available on the surrounding property where.
Peppercorn is across the street.
What's that?
Peppercorn. Across the street.
There's already access.
It's already easy, right?
No, I'm just, there is, so if there's some way you can facilitate the access from the development to,
Right.
I don't know what that is, but there's definitely open space across the street.
Do you think about that? If you about how your subdivision could help access open space across the street instead of putting it inside your subdivision? That's something you can look at.
We can certainly look at it. There is a strip of land along one of the roads, on the side of the road, I believe.
That would be go a long way as to why we would waive it in your subdivision when we could use it to access a larger.
I live there. We already have a large parking lot that's not being fully utilized. It'd be a waste of space to have more open space for that. Because on the other side, the side where the Peppermill is, we have a large open parking space, which is under conservation. There's no need for another parking space.
No,
This
I'm
is for
not,
parking.
I'm not suggesting that either.
This is,
Well, I was suggesting if they can help facilitate the residents of the development getting to the existing parking space by foot ideally, so they could continue on to access the rest of the space. I wasn't suggesting they build something
I
new.
understand.
and this isn't parking. You don't have parking space for this subdivision open space. It's theirs. They don't have, they all live there. They don't have to have any parking space. This isn't for the town to come in or anybody. This is your own. That's what the law says. He's asking to waive that. For me to waive it, you gotta show what you're doing for open space. That's the reason. But what are you doing for open space for those residents? It could be connecting it to a larger property, could be contributing to other parts of it. It could be anything, but
Right.
we need a reason to waive.
Excuse me.
On the waivers, was there something else you wanted to ask from the waivers?
No, I didn't. I just was asking, I was just raising whether we wanted to go through them now or do we want to wait? Because there's quite a few of them. So,
I can highlight them. I did have them highlighted on my list if you want.
do you want to go through them now, Tommy? Or
We don't have to.
It's Mark asked.
It's, that's almost a meeting in itself.
It's fine. I'd like to work towards that if we could.
So are we able to ask questions? Because I tried to ask a question, Mark tried to ask a question, and we've just been passed over.
I'm sorry to listen.
Mark, what did you want to ask before?
I was at, when I have to put that, map there so we could see where the parcels are. They reference, B and C. I know there's an A up by East Street.
Parcel B. This is parcel C.
Parcel A is up on East.
What was the specific one?
Oh, there's parcel A right
Little
there.
bitty piece.
Yep, tiny sliver, yep.
And so does that drawing show the road lining up with the road across the street?
That page doesn't, but a subsequent page would. Yeah, right there, I mean,
Did
Rob,
that show it? Sorry.
it showed the street name,
It shows,
right
oh, yeah, there it is. Yep.
there is another one that shows a curb cut, I believe, of the two, but that would be a little further in.
Are these the plans you just, these the original plans or the ones that you just?
Road layout shouldn't have changed, is that correct?
There it is again.
Except for that 30, except for that one.
This shows the apron.
There was one about site distance and we realigned a high point on the road, but not the physical location of the road.
Is that near the wall? Is that why you lowered it?
No, I don't believe it is. So there's Rockwood, I'm sorry, over there on the right, those two little cuts of the road cuts, and there's a proposed road across the street.
Okay, because on the document that you sent today, you said that, the original comment was, comment 7, we note, the street job 30, there's 30-foot offset. G&H, you responded, the road alignment has been changed to a line, and then something about we have requested a waiver. You then said that you requested a waiver, but if you set it to a line, then.
Yeah, so we replied back in August that the road had been aligned.
Right.
For Rockwood, and Stantec came back with the applicant's request a waiver. And then we acknowledged that waiver, so the two of us may have misspoke.
Okay, so you don't need if it's been aligned, you don't need the waiver.
I don't think so. I mean, I defer it to the section and make sure I read this section thoroughly.
It was almost 2 months ago.
Yeah.
You all said?
Yeah, I had a question about the open space that, and about it being waived if there is an access made to Peppercorn for the residents of this new development. That particular area of the road, there are numerous accidents there. There's no sidewalk. It's very narrow. So I think it needs to be taken into consideration how safe it's going to be for children to be crossing the street there and walking over to Peppercorn, as opposed to having a place to play where they live, where they own their property.
You don't think signage would, or markings on the road would be sufficient?
No, it is a very dangerous spot. I've lived there for only a couple of years, and there have been 4 accidents that I have seen. I don't know how many have taken place otherwise.
If you're gonna connect it, I would say that you would need at the very least a crosswalk, maybe with a flashing light, maybe a sidewalk if you're crossing at the intersection and then going up.
I just think it's dangerous. I think that the danger of that area just needs to be taken into consideration. There is a huge amount of traffic there during the morning rush hour and all afternoon and through the evening rush hour.
Well, that's good to know. Thank you.
So where this new road will connect into East Street or School Street, it's a significant drop in elevation. What I'd like to know is, as someone that lives in that new community, are they going to be at the same level as East Street when they're waiting to get onto East Street? Are they going to be down?
Our rule is for the first 75 feet, it has to be no more than a 3% grade.
Okay.
Do I understand that?
I believe so.
There is a lot of traffic on that.
Mr. Chairman, one final question. So, given that they have identified that parcel A as an open space, is that going to affect my frontage along that road, the new road?
No, in what way would it,
So,
it can't be developed, it would just stay the way it is.
but what would it count toward, now I would have a corner lot, because I live at 11 East Street there. So I'll have a corner lot once that road is developed. So will I have frontage on both roads?
No, not if they're claiming, not if the road is inside their property line, so
By how many feet?
by.
No, you would abut parcel A, you would not abut that road.
Right,
As you currently do today.
yeah. It's the property line,
How wide is parcel A from?
well, the property line is here.
The property line is the heavy line.
Yeah.
The dotted line is the easement.
Oh, okay, yeah, so the property line is here,
5 feet or so.
yeah, so.
The road, it would be between you and the road. You'd only front on, East Street.
Except towards the back.
Does, through the chair, does he,
He fronts in there, yeah,
yeah, is he gaining frontage along here?
Yep.
Jim?
looks like it.
I don't,
I
it
think the
appears that
sound
way.
got turned off. I can't hear anything from what you guys are saying.
Kathy, can you hear me?
Can you hear me, Kathy?
Nothing's happened with my sound.
John, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Kathy, I did have an issue earlier where I had to leave the meeting and come back in, just due to Teams having a glitch there. Not sure if that might be a good recommendation for you to do, but I can't hear everybody clearly.
Kathy, are you still not hearing? Someone maybe message her. Can you message her to leave and come back?
I'm gonna go off and go back on again.
Good idea.
Okay.
Yeah, the microphone's picking us up. It's,
Mhm.
Any other questions? Make sure you guys get your. From the board.
Question? I think I read something, and I'm sorry, I didn't see what got sent in today, but when I started to read through the peer review, it said that it sounds like anything greater than X number of houses should have two exits or entrances, and there's only the one, and they asked for a waiver. Was that addressed?
No.
That is one of the.
Is that true? You only,
Well, yeah, the layout of the road is one with the lollipop on it, right?
Yeah.
You recall that?
We mean, they asked for
yeah,
they asked for a waiver to the length of
Yeah.
of the.
yeah, typically when we do a road, it's a horseshoe, we put one in, it comes out the other side. But if it just goes in a straight line, it's a little bit tough because now you're dead ending all of our utilities. And it's a lot, it's tougher than if you make two entrances. But if it's not that long and it's a wider road and you have utilities, you have your sprinklers, these would be sprinkled, correct?
Is there a cistern as well?
There's a cistern and a sprinklers, and it's expected to be sprinkled.
Yeah, so in answer to your question, a lot of times when it does end up being a one way, then it's really for fire protection that is most concerning. And so the fire department then requires every house has a sprinkler system. And there's a cistern in the street that can provide water in the event of an emergency.
And we have a really ugly way of solving this by having an entrance and an exit separate, one way in, one way out, same road. And it's horrible. It's just too wide. So a couple places like on Westbrook Road, if you're heading towards Westbrook, you'll see on the right, that's what we used to do. That if you do a one way in, you at least need two entrances at the beginning on the main road. We haven't done that before. Waste of space, well, we might do it with a tree. Does that answer your question?
But does that have anything, doesn't that have something to do with safety as well, of people leaving the area as well as people coming Indoors?
It has to be adequate. You have to be able to get the large vehicles that the town has for safety, and they have to get a fire truck in the emergency. Oh, you have to get all that in there. And a 24 to 26 foot wide road is plenty big enough
Okay.
for that. This one is 30. We make 30, we make two 20 foot, wherever it's 40 to 50 foot taken. But we put like two ways in, one way out. And it's actually safer with one big road together. So we've gone to accepting a waiver for the entrance being one road. If everything's taken care of, if we have a cistern, a buried water tank at the end of the cul-de-sac, there's a water tank. It's used to sprinkler all the houses. So that's fire protection. And a few other things, but as long as they take care of the safety of people moving in.
And in terms of the intersection itself, the police then give us a recommendation on the safety of the intersection. And if we need a traffic study, I think there was just a traffic study up there, wasn't there, when we decided? It was on the road, that was on the list.
There were other traffic studies that had been done recently.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
The traffic counts.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's not done. I think it's,
I think, but that was on the list.
it's been a
for
while
traffic
since I looked at that.
counts.
Oh, yeah, I think it's on the list for counts.
Is that the one where there's a traffic backup going to the lights by the water tower?
Yeah.
Back up on that one?
Yes.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, because I had reached out for this.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
I asked Hopkinton if they could tell us what the timing of the lights were. If they could tell us that Upton's getting shafted because the lights are on the lights on for 2 minutes there and only 15 seconds for Upton.
Also, they don't allow,
Well,
they don't
that's-
allow right-hand turns because they have
Yeah.
no right-hand turns on that side.
But there isn't, there's probably, if they had to redo it, they'd probably increase the time on West Main Street because there's just so much more traffic right now. You'd actually up and would lose some time. So we didn't push it after that.
There was gonna be an opportunity because somebody had applied to put a gas station at that like abandoned farm stand. But they had withdrawn that application from Hopkinton before they were required to submit the traffic analysis. 'Cause that was the word I got from the planner.
Anything else? Who's next? Questions from the board? Yeah, I do want to go over the waivers. If you could write them all down, you just go through them. We have to vote on them individually. So for the next meeting, if you could get us.
I'll provide a list with an explanation to be reviewed.
Yeah, those are all votes, each one of them.
If I may jump in for that, we do have our waivers listed on our cover sheet for the definitive plan, but we can definitely provide a separate document if needed for that.
On the plan itself or the,
Yes, the cover sheet has the
The cover sheet
waivers.
has some waivers on there originally, and I would just defer and confirm that there aren't others that that have been identified by Stantec. That was the only thing.
On that cover, do you also give a reason why it's in the best interest of the town to grant you the waiver?
I don't believe that is on that cover.
That's the only reason we would grant you a waiver is because it's in the best interest of the neighborhood and the towns to do so. Because if it's just gonna help you but doesn't help us, no reason for us to grant the waiver.
Understood. That's why I suggested the explanation. If it's not on there, I forget the language.
that's very helpful to have that on there.
Mhm.
I'm not accustomed to seeing it on.
Very nice.
Yeah.
We aim to please.
So, when we look at East Street and we look at the neighborhood, where's the first house near East Street? How far off of East Street is the first
Pull
house?
the plan.
Do we have proposed house locations on here? It's just lots, right?
Yeah.
I think there's some proposed houses a little further.
Okay.
On the grading and or site layout sheets, we do have houses shown.
There are some plots at this point.
That are on East Street,
Yeah,
or 2 or 3.
there you go.
Yeah, the front.
So where would the first one be?
The first one is right there on the left, I believe. On the new road.
So there's two frontage lots first. There's two lots right on East Street and then one right off Sherry.
Oh, I'm not. Oh, thank you.
Well, let's go up a little bit.
Hold on, I just need to share it. I wasn't sharing it.
Go up where it goes to the new road that's crossing
Yeah.
there.
Mhm.
So the first property is that one right there, right?
Lot 3 on the left, if you're driving up the new road.
Okay. So,
But also note that there are two houses on East Street. as well.
understood,
Okay.
but that's not a concern.
Yeah.
As much as that one is. So I understand with the 75 foot, is there an elevation plan that shows what that's gonna be like from that driveway going to East Street? Because that is quite.
Cross section, the section of the roadway is,
Of the roadway or the driveway?
Roadway.
roadway record.
Yeah.
Driveways is on the,
I'm concerned about the driveway.
that's a building permit issue, but roadway is us.
Is this a two?
I think you passed the grading sheets, Mike.
What is your question?
I'm looking for the profile.
I was looking for an elevation plan to show what, how steep that's going to be, because I understand the 75% with the 3%.
Yeah, and it's coming to take, I think, 8% after that, and I think you can't go no steeper than 8%.
So I was also trying to figure out how far from that driveway is to East Street, because I was concerned.
75 feet is all our leveling area is.
And is that looks like the profile plan.
John, is this the,
That's correct.
roadway? Okay, this is roadway profile.
But the minimum on our rules, you go for 3% for 75 feet, and then you could theoretically go to an 8% after that.
And we have added in vertical curves for that transition, and also have checked all vertical curves versus safe stopping site distances as required by peer review.
And that's important because you can't go, you have to have 150 feet. at 4 feet.
150, John, or 200?
All vertical curves, sag or crest, are meeting a minimum of a 200-foot site distance.
At 4 feet off, and it's 4 feet up high, right? 4 feet off the ground?
I believe it's 2.5 feet off the ground, but everything has been designed to meet those regulations. And if we can provide greater than the 200 feet, we have done so.
So the roadway layout is pretty strict, and it's in our, if you want to take a look at it, those are pretty much, you can't waive those kind of things. It's unsafe at over 8%. If you don't have 3% coming onto the road, it's unsafe. You're gonna be screaming on it. And the ice.
If I may interrupt, for clarity purposes, we are at about a 1.5% or so coming off of East Street before the vertical curve and the transition to the 8%. So we're not trying to be too steep for that first 75 feet there.
That's actually good.
Is there a sidewalk also on that side of the street?
Yes, I believe so.
You're not asking for a waiver?
Yeah, there it is.
We have one sidewalk, I believe. Why I know.
Yeah, it's because if they're greater than that, you can ask for waiver for, you don't require only on one side.
That's what they asked for.
Yeah, and yeah, one side, put it on the side, to get the most sun.
Cannot answer that as I sit here, but like I said,
Yes, if you get the most sun, put the sidewalk on that side.
Would that be considered a private road like it is on Rockwood side, or would that be considered a public?
It's private until the town votes to accept it and it becomes a public way. Becomes an accepted street. It's a public way. As soon as the planning board releases a lot, now it's a public way, not an accepted street, but it's a public way, not a private way.
I'm talking about for maintenance.
Yeah, but the responsible for the maintenance and plowing and clearing is still be the homeowners association.
Okay.
Until the town or the developer, whoever, somebody has to be responsible for that until the town accepts the road.
So it is intended to be a public way in the end, maintained by the town.
Yeah, we'd take the 50-foot, and catch base, any, drainage issues, that would probably be part of the town's taking as well, if you've got drainage basins.
Presumably so.
Yeah.
Through the chair, it looked like there was somebody with their hand up on a Teams meeting, but it's no longer up there. So if anybody has any questions on the Teams meeting.
There was a gentleman from 43 Walnut Street.
Yes, that's correct. That's me. Matthew Gutwell, 43 Walnut Street. One of the questions I had, because you mentioned you were going to talk about waiving some open space and allow them to use the other side of East Street. That's a serious concern because the houses that are on East Street do not have a sidewalk access. They're going to have to walk along the side of the road at East Street, which could be a potential problem. Also has the chief of police been advised to do a traffic review or a review of the safety crossing that street. I don't believe that is a safe alternative for the residents of that property to be able to cross that street without a sidewalk, walk along the side of the road. I think that's something that seriously needs to be considered before that waiver or that is allowed.
Well, if I can say, sir, between you and others, I'm leaning your way as well. It was an idea to improve access to our already owned, town-owned areas. But if it's going to be unsafe, it's not worth it.
Well, I have an opinion on that myself. Arguably, the residents are gonna cross the road regardless. So if we can arrange to have a sidewalk along East Street and
And a flashing crossing.
crosswalk, we have improved the safety for those people that would otherwise been crossing the road without us.
That would be correct. That's absolutely correct, because one of the considerations for the waiver, as you all know, is safety. And if safety is a concern, but if you're gonna put a crosswalk in, that's fine, but you still have to access it from, I think, what is there, 2 houses on East Street going down toward Walnut that will not have a sidewalk. They can't access that. So there should be a requirement for a sidewalk along East Street for those residents.
I agree with that.
And who would be in charge, who would do that?
That would have to be the developer who put the property in, who's changing the way of the land.
Just, you're not familiar with that street, because you're not seeing the whole street on East Street there. It actually bends. And so that's one of the reasons why it makes it dangerous, is because when you go a little bit south, and you can't see where that box is, it's bending. And so people are coming around fast.
You got elevation change and you got a sun problem during the year. You get sun glaring down that road also, which becomes a problem.
Planning board has the authority to require any improvements necessary to change the streets directly to it if there's a safety issue. If your subdivision is causing an unsafe something, we can have you do this or that. I don't know if your subdivision is going to cause this to be more unsafe, but if crossing the street is, if you're going to use that as your open space,
In lieu of open space.
and then you would definitely be required to make it safe to do that. That makes sense.
I do understand. Yep, I understand the suggestion.
All right, thank you very much. Anybody else on that?
I may ask for clarity purposes, the 2 lots in question, would those be the A and R lots or any of the existing houses that are at the north?
Talking about the A and R lots, if we put a crossing in, people in the A and R lots would need to get up to the crossing.
Well, one thing about your A&R lots, you've included them in your subdivision because probably through drainage, you probably need them for something to do with the subdivision. So they're not A&R lots on this plan. They're part of the subdivision's land that's calculated for drainage, correct?
I do not believe that those particular lots are included in anything drainage related. I'd have to go back and double check on that.
Then why are they included in the subdivision?
Jim,
Oh, they
I'm
are.
not sure if you have anything for that one.
You're confusing me. Are they A&R or are they subdivision?
Well, I know we have in the past included frontage lots that are part of the subdivision plans.
But you're not gonna get a lot of bids for that. You're gonna get an 81P. You're gonna get a non, A&R. We're not gonna sign that off as part of the subdivision, right? You're gonna sign it off as, your address is not gonna be the new road. Your address is gonna be East Street on those lots.
So I guess the question is, are you planning to file 2 A and Rs for those 2 lots, or are you considering them part of this subdivision?
I believe they were on these plans to be shown the use of the land. I don't know whether we plan to file an A&R later or not, or whether the subdivision control law would create said lot.
But the subdivision is for the lots that they'll be on the new lot, the new road you're creating. If they have frontage on an existing lot, you would use the existing frontage and address for that. And it's a separate process.
But they haven't been
Unless-
created yet.
Unless you use the land as part of your calculations for runoff drainage and things.
I understand.
And some of them may even have a bit of a drainage catch basin or some sort of a drainage basin there as well on the A&R lot, which requires you to calculate it into the subdivision.
I'll double check that. I, as I said tonight, I don't know the answer to that, but they are I don't think there's any infrastructure on those two lots related to the subdivision road.
I've seen it happen both ways.
I think I have also.
And I can confirm that currently there is no catch basins or swales proposed for either A and R lot to contribute to anything towards the drainage basins. So I will confirm if they are included in any calcs, but as of right now, I do not believe that those lots were factored in anything drainage related.
Well, your subdivision acreage is divided by 10% for your open space, so if you included those two in it, you put too much in there, that's less than that. If you took those two out of your subdivision land area, you'd reduce your 10% total.
Your open space requirement, yeah.
Understood, and thank you for that.
Vince, good.
Just, what's A&R mean?
Approval not required.
Oh,
That when you come into here and if you have a piece of property and it has all of the dimensions required in zoning, it has.
it's already on a road.
It's already on a road, it's on a public way. Our approval is not required. We have to sign it because you still have to meet zoning and it still has to, so we sign up for that, it has to be recorded. But there's not this, you don't go through a subdivision control, there's no public hearing, there's no notification, it's just
It's what we did earlier this evening.
the Kelly lot.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to continue this to the next meeting we have available.
25th? It's the 25th.
25th. If no more questions, so by on the 25th, hope we can wrap this up. We'll have a list of all of the waivers. We'll get a vote on the waivers and hopefully we can close the public hearing then. Want to go from the board.
Oh, and Mr. Chair, we may need extensions again as well. Jim, I'm forgetting if we might have just extended it to like November 1st or something ahead of this meeting. Continuance,
November.
oh, no, we're good. Yeah, we did November 30th. So we can address another extension
At that time?
Yeah.
And if you don't want to extend it, you can just vote on it now if you don't want to.
Thank you for the opportunity.
All right, the meeting is continued, so we're gonna reopen our regularly scheduled meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
All right, do we have anything else on the agenda? Any questions? We're meeting's over. I mean, public hearings, meeting's still open if you want any.
That's.
Yes.
Thank you.
Like if you have any questions or if you want to just call the office and like, or Lauren will help you.
Super, thanks.
Sign you.
So I have your review of budget.
Budget. That's Mike's notes about the budget.
Yeah, I mean, this is just kind of the introduction to budget season, right? So I will probably have to have a budget in, for Christmas, I think, or shortly thereafter. And we only have a handful of meetings, between now and then. So I provided, Lauren provided, a copy of this year's approved budget as it was written and accepted. You likely have it in yours. I think I left mine behind. Thank you. I have this one. So yeah, that was your budget that you're operating off of this year, which is a total of a little over 39,000. For expenses. And that's detailed below. Department specialists, board members, step increases, all of that. I wouldn't expect put in much difference this time around. It probably would just be a 2.5% proposed increase for.
So it's referred to as department specialist here, which
Yeah.
I'm assuming is a different salary level than an assistant planner.
So there was actually a note on this. I deleted the So you're watching, you're seeing the final version, but this was edited to include, for pay increases
Okay.
relative to the assistant planner.
For 26.
For
Yeah.
this, yes.
Yeah, so if you, under the overall expenditures, the last sentence is the increase accounts for the change associated with department specialist, with the change from department specialist to assistant.
Kathy, can you hear us? We hear you. Speak. Kathy,
Yeah,
you hear? Okay, excellent. We hear you.
yeah, no,
You couldn't talk before.
no, I couldn't hear you before, but I got back on and I could hear you again.
So just for now, this was just informational and. you're
Yes,
gonna
just
be-
informational, there's no action that needs to be taken, yeah. Lauren's been keeping track of all your expenses and, so that's the balance sheet.
Should you go for a standard increase?
Is that,
Should you get an increase?
yes, that's about it. I'll change department specialist, so that that doesn't show in your budget anymore. I'll be accurate with the
Yeah.
title.
Good catch.
But yeah, the cost is accounted for it. That's about it. I don't really think there's much to go over really, other than just to show you that, there's a copy of your balance sheet, Tom, as you're looking at right there. So, all expenses are being tracked. There's, just some snapshots of some of your current escrow accounts that you're operating under for the developments that you're reviewing currently. No concerns. So obviously I'll ask for more money if we need more money for any of those things. And Kathy, again, I'll send you copies of these. Apologies, we just printed it before the meeting tonight.
Mike, is there any other news on the associate member position? We had two guys here now.
No, we see that we did a and I apologize for not getting it on this agenda. You should probably make a recommendation for your preferred candidate. The problem is right now, the bylaw says we need to hold a joint meeting with the select board.
We do, we've never done that before.
Is that right?
It must be a general bylaw. Must be being.
It's in your zoning bylaw.
Really?
Yeah.
I think we definitely have done it.
Charles.
I think we've done it once or twice.
We did a paper ballot once way back.
Right. I think maybe that was it. We did a paper ballot, they all get counted at once or something like that.
And we just sent it to the select. We wrote it down and gave
The
it.
envelope of names went to the selectmen and the selectmen wrote their names down and they have to follow.
Okay.
You could do that.
Are the selectmen meeting at the same time we are these days?
Their schedule is wonky because they are, this town meeting season, so. I think they met last week. They're not meeting today. I think they're meeting.
Are they meeting on November 20? I mean, our next meeting's not till the 25th.
They're meeting on the 3rd in anticipation for the 4th, which is town meeting. And then not again until.
Well, here's another thought. Can we
The 18th.
schedule a joint meeting for 5 minutes before town meeting? I think we did that one time.
You did that as well, yeah.
If you want to evaluate that, I'll reach out to Dennis and see if.
I'm just
I can
trying
do that.
I'm trying to remember. I think we did that one time.
Was
For this.
for?
I don't remember.
Since I've already asked them to do that for some other thing I'm working on.
Meet just before the thing starts?
Well, the selectmen are posting a meeting for the night of the town meeting. It's primarily to be able to make decisions about the problem of the meeting, items on the meeting. However, it's a posted meeting and they can make decisions on other things as long as it's included in the posting.
Right.
Okay.
So that might be a way to handle this.
I think we had to recommend a zoning change, and it might have been down by the beach. We didn't know what to do with it, so we held a meeting just before 5 minutes before the thing.
Yep.
I opened it, voted, closed it. Do that.
So then you'd have to post one of our meetings as well.
Yeah,
It's the same time, so.
But then when is the public When is the town meeting?
Next Tuesday,
Tuesday
right?
at
The
7.
4th.
It's the 4th, yeah.
Next
A
Tuesday?
question, I mean, just a quick question. At these town meetings, the selectmen seem to be really tied up, like right before the meeting. I mean, is this,
Well, we've done this before, Kathy, where they have a select board meeting right before the meeting. And we've had our meeting at the same time so that we could go in and take 5 minutes of their select board meeting. So if they're willing to do it, we could do it then.
yeah, okay. There's
But
just
if
a
they're
lot,
not-
yeah.
To the
no,
18th.
Or it could, yeah, we could wait till the 18th. Okay.
All right, I'll reach out and see if we can do that, or if not, we'll hold off till the 18th.
Sounds like a plan.
In that case, I move we adjourn.
I'll second that motion.